Good afternoon, everybody. This is Let's Clarify with myself, Mellissa Thomas, and lovely co-host, Ms. Angel Perry, who is the Executive Vice President of the Communications Workers of America Local 3108. Angel, how's it going?
It is going, Melissa. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. Always a blast to come on the show with you and break some stuff down for the good folks. So today, everybody, especially those of you who are residents of Florida, you probably heard the big news yesterday that according to the Department of Equal Opportunity, they are now canceling, going to them on that, it's like they have canceled or ended the extended unemployment benefits early. So at the end of June, no more of those payouts are going to happen. And things are kind of up in, folks are kind of up in arms about that. Some folks are saying, it was money that they really needed to kind of make ends meet, like in addition to the unemployment they were collecting here. So we'll get into it. We'll let Angel kind of break things down for us in more detail. Go ahead, Angel.
Okay, so those states that are Republican run, the reason why I'm bringing it up first, because those are the ones that are following the trend of out of 27 Republican states, 22 have now decided to end the CARES Act unemployment. Just so we're clear, the CARES Act unemployment, and that was the extended benefit. So for our state in Florida, it was an additional $300 a week on top of the $275 you could possibly get under your regular status if you had lost your job. Mm-hmm. Ours ends on June 26th, and most of the states are either June, in towards the end of June, mid-June, or July, that the weekly benefits, the CARES Act extended unemployment benefits will end. So Governor Ron DeSantis followed the pathway that we want to get people back to work. There is a shortage of frontline workers. You can go to anywhere in any of the major cities or smaller cities, and you will literally see signs hiring. Mm-hmm. You'll see where starting pay, bonus sign up. I mean, we spoke about one of the McDonald's down here. The poor gentleman, he didn't have enough staff. He was paying people $50 just to show up for an application. There are a lot of frontline industry, so fast food, retail, and it's the smaller businesses.
Right.
The larger ones seem to just be doing fine during this whole time. We won't name any names. Okay. The larger ones, the multi-billion-dollar ones, are just fine. It's the small businesses that have really been hurting, and now it's gravitated to like banks, which are multi-billion, but the branches typically would have like 5 or 6, 7 people working on any particular shift, and they may be down to 3 because you had to have an appointment just to even see a banker.
Right.
That was annoying. Right. Like, why do I have to have an appointment? I've got 10 minutes right now. Talk to me now. But no, that's happened to me about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it was just, I was like, I've always been able to get whatever I needed done, and it was very inconvenient. I'll just say that, because online is some things I'll do online, but some things I want to talk to a banker. I have these questions. I want to look somebody in the face and make sure I'm understanding the information that I'm getting. So it's a plague of lack of workers.
Right.
So we have these 22 governors that are like, okay, we're cutting funding. Okay, that might be an answer. I hope it works. I have some other ideas. I have some other ideas, but right. Their math is that people are just sitting at home collecting funds, eating potato chips and watching TV, because that sounds, it's a sound bite. It sounds good.
Right. Yeah, and we'll leave on that point because we're going to get to that in segment 2, guys. Very quickly, though, what I do want to do is share a quick soundbite of what Governor DeSantis said the other day. He had a recent press stop in Miami and was asked about his decision to end the unemployment benefits early. So check out what he had to say here.
No matter where I go in the state of Florida, people will tell me, hey, we love Florida's great. Thanks for what you're doing, Governor. We just need to find more people to want to work. So the jobs are there, and I think it'll really help, particularly a lot of our mom and pops. We have restaurants that are thriving. Most places, the restaurant industry got totally decimated. Here, it's doing much better, but they'll have to close for a day or two just because they don't have enough staff to be able to do it.
And on a local point, for anybody that's like a fast food person, that was one of the most noticeable things, even for someone like me. If you're somebody that is like a Burger King thing, I don't mind naming them because I'm somebody that goes there. But just as a practical example, one of the things they had to do was start closing early. They don't have night shift workers. So they had to start closing their stores early. You know what I mean? To your point about obviously Burger King's a much bigger corporation, but even your smaller mom and pop restaurants, they either had to, due to reduced staff, they had to manipulate their working hours or decrease the amount of days that they could stay open because they have fewer staff. And to your point with the banking, there are certain things you can't handle over the phone or online. Like there's certain things you have to address in person, and the shortage kind of caused that appointment only policy, which part of that was due to COVID-19 too, in terms of the banking stuff. Because I know with the folks I'm with, when COVID-19 hit, they said, nope, if you want to come into the lobby, you got to schedule it. But now that there is a shortage, it continues.
Yes.
But we will get to Angel's point at the other side of this break in terms of sort of the counterpoint to their talking point. You know what I mean? Yes. So stay tuned, guys. We have a lot more to talk about. We'll be right back.
I'm not picking it up. You pick it up.
I'm not picking it up.
Well, somebody's got to pick it up.
I'll pick it up. They're clean. 'Cause my hand is clean. Oh yeah, I'm Charmin clean. That's how I know they're clean.
Charmin Ultra Strong is woven like a washcloth and just cleans better.
Yeah, I'm Charmin clean.
The kid does have a point.
My hand is clean. Yeah.
Enjoy the go with Charmin. And for an extra clean finish, try Charmin Flushable Wipes.
All right, y'all, welcome back to Let's Clarify. So, yeah, Angel, we had actually talked about that talking point about folks being, quote unquote, lazy or sitting back and collecting the unemployment benefits. I mean, those bills didn't go anywhere. And
no.
One thing that we don't really hear discussed on either side of the media is that as a result of the bills not going anywhere and the fact that it took some states very long for their unemployment system to catch up with the demand, Florida included, we remember all of that. Folks had to adapt in the meantime. They had to come up with a way to earn income in the meantime. COVID-19 kind of forced folks to become entrepreneurs out here, you know what I mean? So kind of go into the details of that.
So before COVID, you had about 30% of the working population that actually had 2 or 3 jobs. Nobody's talking about that math. Okay. So that same person that literally never had time to actually sit and reflect, what is my purpose in life? What is the things that I want to do? COVID hit, and now they had time to think about it. The bills didn't go anywhere. Rent and mortgage was still due. Food still had to be on the table for those that had kids, or, ramen noodles, even though it only cost, 33 cents, you still had to have the 33 cents. So a lot of those same individuals that had the 2 and 3 jobs, and then we'll speak on labor because that's my expertise. You had a lot of these frontline places that were abusive to their employees. So
Mm-hmm.
you want to add that on top of really wanting to do something that is meaningful and purposeful to the individual. You ended up with people joining the entrepreneurship of startups. The
Mm-hmm.
United States leads the globe in startups with an average of 63 to 65,000 a year. So all those same people that had the 2 and 3 jobs and they're working 80, 90 hours a week or more was like, wait a minute, I want to, get into designing clothes. I want to get
Mm-hmm.
into whatever. COVID also added where people were making masks from home. People
Yes.
forget that. I mean, I'm just
Yeah.
laying out examples of the simplicity of supply and demand. Our economy, our capitalist design works. Human ingenuity came into full effect under COVID.
Mm-hmm.
People adapted and adjusted, and there is now a huge shift in the economy. And I will also add content creators. We have all this tech.
Yes.
Everybody has screens. And
Yep.
I'm saying this to our government officials and politicians who they have their phones and they have their assistants, but they're not paying attention to the advancement in tech and people adapting to content. No more is it really about watching television. It's about content. What interests me? So you have all these platforms where people are doing their normal. People are on a farm with their little piglets. Okay? And people find that interesting. It's about how many eyeballs you get to watch.
Exactly.
The average content creator salary, and this is the last statistic as of April 27th, 2021. So just
Wow.
last month, average median income is $38,000. Hello, is anybody listening? I just
Not
told
bad.
you what the answer is. The shift in income, content creation, innovation, doing what you feel your purpose in life is. COVID stopped everything, and people had a chance to think and adapt.
Yep.
So that's all right. Cut off unemployment. Do what you got to do, but I don't think that's going to change anything.
That's a good point towards resiliency. And I mean, to your point in terms of the shift in economy, I think that conversation needs to be had a little bit more often, as opposed to that assumption that everybody's just kind of sitting home lazy. And again, guys, we did have this conversation a couple of episodes ago where we went over several reasons for you guys. We clarified several reasons why, the folks were not just being lazy. And like, we talked about why folks have chosen not to return to those jobs. Like, going from working 2-3 jobs and being utterly exhausted to having been home for a while and being able to sustain for a little bit.
Right.
With
Right.
unemployment from the state and unemployment federally, them having that feeling kind of renewed something in their mind. Like, okay, well, if this is what it feels like to breathe, like, let me capitalize on that. Let me see if there's a way that I can stretch this and do better. And to your point, find out what actually fulfills me. Like,
Right.
I have to work anyway. Like, I have to
Yes.
put in the time anyway. Let me make sure it's not something that's soul draining anymore. Like, now
Right.
that we've been quarantined for a while, this is the reset
Right.
button. Let me find a way to redirect that energy.
So some of the other things that happened during COVID, a shift in where you work is now working from home. So now it's a seller's market for homes,
Yes.
which they're not talking about in this conversation either. How are people still buying houses if they're all eating potato chips and sitting at home collecting unemployment? People still have to qualify for those loans.
Yep.
You shift from one house to another, getting a bigger place because now you need that office, or now you need that space so the kids have a classroom and a playroom.
Yes.
It is unprecedented. And real estate is booming right now. So you have the people that pass their, real estate assessment, and they're out the gate with customers already, and they just, pass their classes and their certification. That's unheard of. Usually you have to apprentice behind someone for 2 years and build up your clientele. Out the gate, oh, I've got my certs. Oh, I'm, booked. I've got this, I've got that. So we have record number of homes being purchased. We have record number of entrepreneurial company startups since COVID. And go ahead and turn off the unemployment, because honestly, I agree with the 22 states. I don't think it's necessary, even though there are some politicians that are barking otherwise. I think there's a lack of paying attention to where society is shifting to, and it's going to leave a lot of people behind with the jaws dropped and open. I didn't know. Well, you should have watched our show.
Plug. Hashtag let's clarify.
Let's clarify what's really going on in our economy right now.
Absolutely. And that actually leads us to our call to action, which we will go into on the other side of this break, guys. But stay tuned. We do have a little more conversation left. Always fun with you guys. Be right back.
At Duke Energy, we deliver electricity and so much more, like free home energy assessments, rebates for energy-saving improvements, payment options to help you better manage your budget, and even bill credits for helping the community use less energy. So no matter what you're doing, we can help you make better energy choices every day. It's just another way we bring power to your life. How much can you save?
All right, guys, welcome back to Let's Clarify as we wrap things up. So given everything that we have discussed, Angel, let's put a bow on everything. What do we want our folks to come away with?
This time, you should have been already registered to vote. You should already have the list of your legislators and public officials and politicians that run where you live. So now we're asking for you to think about what inspires you. Now is the time. Unlike ever before, online schools, training, certifications, running and starting up a business. There is an endless possibilities. Anything you can think of is available at your fingertips from your phone. You don't even need a computer. Before it was all about the computers. From your phone, you can do and run your business from your phone. So whatever you're inspired to be, whatever your passion is, go out and get it. Now's the time. Get on the train, get it done. Move to wherever you want to move to. We have 1,000 people a day coming to Florida. Come on down. We are open, fully open. Okay. But do it. Just go out and do it. Don't wait.
Awesome. Very well said. We put that action item up there. It is 1, y'all. Normally we number it. Normally there's like 1 and 2 and 3. It is 1 today. Like, research what inspires you and start your business. Okay. And I mean, it could be something that is a side hustle. And I mean, side hustles are not something that's a new concept. Like, we've seen that for probably almost the last decade now. Like, e-commerce really, once e-commerce began, especially with eBay and then Amazon, and Amazon really blew things up because they started to allow people to sell their things on their platform. Right. And they took some of the hard work out of it, depending on the avenue you choose to use. Right. And once Shopify came on board, that really blew things up with drop shipping and things like that. So again, just find out what works for you, find out what you want to do. And, God bless the folks at YouTube. They were generous enough, and all the people who have YouTube accounts and are willing to put up free tutorials. There are
Tons.
thousands of them.
Tons.
I mean, at this point, Gary Vaynerchuk, who's a thought leader that I follow in terms of entrepreneurship, he's like, "Hey, don't ask me how. Like, use Google." You know what I mean?
Google is
Like
free.
exactly.
For
Like
now.
if your only question is how, just hit up Google. Between the search engine and YouTube, you know, dozens, thousands of free tutorials to find out how to do what it is you want to do, and finding thought leaders in the space that are successful at what you want to do. So, I mean, for sure, guys, make sure you research that. Don't be afraid if they're pulling out the rug from under you, because the key to entrepreneurship is recession proofing yourself, you know, pandemic proofing yourself, you know.
That's new.
You know what I'm saying?
We all had the rug, you know, pulled from under us. And look at all of us that are watching today, here today. We survived it. Let's get after it. Time's a wasting. Just get it done.
Amen. Amen. Beautifully said. So, guys, if you haven't yet, be sure to like, share, subscribe, follow, all of that stuff. You can catch us at Florida National News on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Instagram. You can also catch the show at FNN News TV on Facebook. And if you want to ask Angel any questions directly on IG, you can find her at A for Amazing. So that way you can ask her any questions. If you guys want to drop your comments below, let us know what your thoughts were on our episode or any future episodes, anything you want us to discuss in future episodes. Just shoot us a comment below this video or any of our previous episodes. We would love to hear from you guys. Let us know your thoughts. And as you guys see, we run ads on our show. So if you're interested in running an ad, you can email us at ads@floridanationalnews.com. If you're interested in sponsoring one of our episodes, feel free to shoot us an email there, ads@floridanationalnews.com. Thank you, as always, Angel. Always a blast to break things down with you. For sure. Always a blast to clarify some things. And ladies and gentlemen, no matter where you are watching from, please continue to stay safe. The pandemic is still out here. Whatever the safety precautions are, please continue to follow them. Continue to follow them. We appreciate you watching, and we will see you next week. You take care.